Looking at other concerns across the C-level, we see that very interesting research out from IBM. So they did a CFO study, and they were looking at risk, they were looking at execution, and they saw that 8 out of 10 of the most successful companies really measure risk and quantify that. And on the execution side, that 70% of the time is spent gathering data, while only 30% of the time is spent analyzing it. Now just think about that. 70% or 2/3 of the time is a no value added task. So when you think back to what the CEO wants in terms of retaining that top talent, that's going to be hard to do when you have these savvy business analysts who are frustrated with their current infrastructure. When you look also at KPMG's research, you see that on the efficiency side, they're saying that 48%, almost half of all CFOs, believe that IT infrastructure is an impediment to really being an efficient organization. So what all this research really is showing us is that the top decision makers are recognizing the need to change and to innovate. Of course, there's more complexity doing it on the business side, but there are 3 primary areas where we can focus to help achieve this. The first is embracing the architecture of the internet, really not just in the edge applications, but throughout the enterprise. Second is having a micro-vertical focus. As each of the different speakers was talking about their industry, you could see the wide variety of needs and how it varies. And so in cloud providers, if you try to be all things to all people, it makes it much more difficult to manage down at the user end. And last is beauty. And that is something that often surprises people, but it's having beauty as a core competence to really make sure that your systems are thinking of the users and that people like them. Because the more they enjoy using the system, the better the adoption's going to be, the better the data into the system's going to be. So let's just talk about each of those in a bit of detail. So first is the architecture of the internet and making sure that this is something that's not just on the personal side, but something that can pervade the whole enterprise. Because part of what's really held us back is the more rigid, old school technology that is less flexible. So in looking at the current state, today we've got wide variety of disparate systems, right? Each department has their tool. We have analytics, we've got budgeting and reporting and finance, then we've got the industry bolt-ons, everyone's favorite reporting tool, Excel, and then we've got the governance. Each one of these systems has their own silos with a super user that's reigning supreme. The problem is very difficult to get the data out and really have that real-time view that all the speakers have been talking about. So what can we do about this? We need to free the data. Just like in the internet, you can do a massive search across a number of disparate systems and come up with an answer. We need to free the data so that we can empower the users. At Infor, we have a vision for this. We have a new tool that we call ION, and that stands for the Intelligent Open Network. And so on the left-hand side, you see all the different data sources we have. We have ERP, we have enterprise asset management, we have warehouse databases, we have human capital management. All of those systems, whether they be Infor or any other systems, can feed into ION. And what ION really is, you can see all the different colorful boxes rotating around it. It's really like a big Velcro wrapper around all of those systems. If you want to attach a system, you can put a nice little Velcro scrunchie on it and stick it to ION, and it seamlessly feeds the data in and out. It's all XML based. What that gives us in having that common integration platform is then it can feed what we call the Sky Vault or the Business Vault, and that's your central information repository. So all of your data is there. It's accessible real time, of course based on the security level of each individual user so that it's locked down and we've got the segregation of duties. But they can then have that so that it goes out and it feeds the business insights. You can get your operational reporting, your budgeting and your planning, your industry logistics. You can also get it in a mobile framework. You can also use it for in-context BI. And so this is something that is a key for most of the decision makers we're speaking to.